So today we're going to be talking about two-point lighting. First, I'll show you an overhead of where we place those lights, and then next I'll show you thumbnails of movies that represent that type of lighting.
All right, so I started with an overhead to keep it simple for you guys to better show and explain how I do my lighting. So let's pretend like the blue and the red are two actors and that this is the camera grabbing the wide shot, and this is your kind of coverage for the scene. You have a tree in the background, and then you have like a bunch of boxes over on the other side. Basically, when you go in to do coverage, this is how I would do it. I would make my big key onto this actor for this camera angle that's directly onto him, offside the 180 rule. So basically opposite of where the actors are at, so that you get the light coming in from this angle and it will hit their face on this side rather than coming in from the same side as the camera. Sometimes what I like to do is add a little kicker or rim on the backside on the dark part of their face to help bring that out a little bit. And then we would do the same for the opposite side. So you would just flip the key around. Now sometimes you have to shoot both angles at the same time, which makes it a little tricky. If you don't have a Mini's-Arm kit, this is how I usually do it. I still have my main source coming in from offside key. I'll usually put something thick diffusion-wise so that it spreads out nicely on both actors. And then same on the rim side. I'll either dim it down very low or I'll put a bunch of diffusion in it to help knock it down. And I want to make sure that this rim one stays less powerful than the key. It's just there to add a little exposure. Now, if you have a Mini's-Arm kit, you can offset your key by placing your stands on camera side and then having a pipe that goes long enough with a light at the end that could then still give you the offset key. Basically, the only reason why you would do this is because if you didn't and you go back to the other setups, if I had left these where they were and this camera is now shooting onto this guy, I will see my key in the shot, especially if I'm shooting both at the same time. So if this key was over here, he would see it. If the key was over there for for the opposite actor, the other camera would see it. So the Mini's-Arm kit helps bring it over so it's over the top of your frame, and then you can still light opposite key. One thing I like to mention as well is you can always figure out your lighting pretty easy from the camera angle and the actor. So the camera angle and the actor are always one side of the triangle, and then for your key should always complete that triangle. And that should go, even if we flip the camera around that way, then this would come over here to that side, right? That way you're always got the triangle going on. That's just an easy way to remember the angles of your lighting for your shots. Even if you're going here like this, and that way you still have your triangle regardless of whichever way that you shoot. You could even be over here and you would still want your key coming in from this side. So just stuff to think about when you do your lighting diagrams. So this website's called Shot Deck. Basically takes a bunch of stills from a billion different movies that you can use as references for your lighting. So in this scene from In Time, we have Cillian Murphy here. Offset key is his main key right here, and then that little kicker or rim light is kind of bringing up here. He doesn't really need it because the windows are so bright in the background that you could turn this off and just have it go silhouette off of it, and you would still see the shape and all the detail back there because of the windows. But they decided they would rather do it this way, which still looks good. Here's a movie called Black Sea where they kind of did it but with different color temperatures. Same kind of thing applies. Offset key, camera is on this side of his face, even though he's looking directly into lens. And then because there's nothing bright in the background to accentuate his hair or his face, they added a red rim on his face here that kind of just shows you the outline of his head. Otherwise, this would just all fade together into one, which could be cool and stylized too if you would like. Sometimes they'll add the rim on the same side as the key, like in here. In this movie, that's what they decided to do, probably because there's a window or something bright over on this side. And sometimes what we like to do in lighting is add the rim on one side, add the key on the same side so that it feels like a continuation, and then adding just a little bit of fill over on the opposite side to help kind of just wrap it all the way around. This one, he does have a little bit rim on the opposite side. That's probably either from a wall or it could be a light as well, based on his ear and how bright that looks. It's probably a light just lightly hitting here as well. It looks good. It brings out the contours on the face. It's good on. Here's an interesting one that I thought was well done also, was that they had the window light, but it wasn't playing in the background, so he pops out nice from that window light, and they flagged it off of the background. And then over on the opposite side, because they added this door light here, they faked another light there to help pop him out. And that's just helping to add motivation that your eye doesn't think that this light here is out of place, because you can see it in the background here. They could also be playing as a lamp because of the color temperature as well, and it's not completely color timed to the same as that light, but it doesn't stand out as bad lighting because of that extra little pop that they gave through the glass, and all the texture back there. It just looks nice. You can also play with the texture of the lights for the rim. So here he's got the key offside camera, just like we talked before, and then the kicker coming in through the window, which they added some blind contrast on, which is kind of nice just to help change it up from just a normal rim or kicker.
So that's just a couple of examples of two-point lighting. As you can see in this shot, I have it on me as well. That's how much I love it. There are other ways to use two-point lighting that we can go into more detail later. If you have any questions about what I went over in this video, leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you. Also in the comments, let me know if there's any movie you want me to break down the lighting of. Thanks so much. That's a wrap.